How do you measure a pit stop? What is a successful pit stop? Does anybody know how long a pit stop takes? And the actual geeks, hold off for a second. So how long does it take to change 4 wheels on a car? Somebody says 8 seconds. Who says less than 8 seconds? 2 seconds? Who says more than 2 seconds? Well, let's take a look. The fastest pit stop in the world. If you look at these cars, they barely stop. It's like they're moving slowly through the pit lane and get serviced. And it's an amazing collaboration thing. It's not that if the car comes in, somebody will say, let's hold a meeting about how we're going to do this pit stop. Now, everybody already knows exactly what to do. The driver has to stop exactly on their mark, because otherwise everybody has to shift. And if you look at these pit stops in slow motion, the wheel nut is actually already loosened before the car stops. So they put the wheel gun in and they put the wheel gun out and the car is gone. It's like crazy. So 22 people work together to do a successful pit stop. 1.8 seconds is the world record. And I want to talk about what would happen if you would measure the success of the pit stop through some of the more traditional corporate performance metrics that we sometimes have. So imagine we would measure productivity. Like we have to maximize the productivity of a pit stop. Because we have 22 people sitting on their butts the whole weekend, and you only have to work for 2 seconds. Like, that doesn't sound so productive, right? That sounds pretty inefficient. And similarly, if we would optimize a pit stop for headcount and cost, you won't get the customer outcome or the successful outcome that we need. And this is just a ridiculous example of what would happen if we start applying the types of metrics and measurements that we often see in organizations, and you immediately feel how the customer journey, the customer success, and the customer value would suffer from that, right? It's the outcome that matters, not the output, or the input even, the efficiency inputs. But there's also a less innocent example. And this is an example from the NHS, the UK National Health Service. No, but the NHS at one point had a big problem with the hospitals in the UK. Because people were suffering. When you go to the emergency room, an accident in the emergency room, you had to wait for a long time before you saw a doctor. And of course there was a bunch of managers who said, this is unacceptable, we have to change this. So they put in place a metric, a target for everyone to adhere to, which is patients who arrive at the ER should be seen within 4 hours, which is still a long time, right? In 95% of the cases. I think the intentions were good, but the problem was the board put a lot of pressure to the hospital directors to implement this, and they put a lot of pressure to the staff in the hospitals to do this, and people were actually afraid of losing their jobs if they wouldn't adhere to this target.